Why looking so sharp today, man?
I'm just looking good because I'm the next champ, the next welterweight champ. So I gotta look good. I gotta look fresh.
Seems like getting the welterweight champ to defend it against a welterweight in timely fashion might be difficult here. What are your thoughts?
You know, I'm not sure. I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out too, because if he does choose to fight Anderson, it's going to kind of, you know, as Ferris said, he might be done after that. So I don't know. I was hoping that I would be able to still potentially fight him before he retires, but you know, I respect his choice. He's done what, you know, not many people have, well, anybody's done in the sport. So.
What would you think if he decided that he wanted to fight Anderson instead? I mean, obviously it seems like a fight that a lot of people want to see, but as a guy who's kind of waiting in line there, what would you think about it?
Yeah, you know, as a competitor, I don't want to see him do that. But you know, if I was in his shoes, that's probably what I would do. You know, it's like, really, what more can you accomplish? You know, being one of the best fighters, you know, pound for pound in the world. Fight Anderson Silva and then retire. I mean, there's, you know, unless he just wants to continue to compete. But you know, in his position, there's nowhere but down. You can't really get any higher. You know, you've defended Yi for years, so it's a tough position to be in. You know, I understand it as a fighter. I would like to see him continue to defend the title, but you know, I'm not in his shoes.
It's been a little heat on Facebook, on Twitter, with people calling you out, you talking back to them. What's going on with you, Jake?
You know, it's funny. It's entertaining though.
Yeah.
It is really. I've been there. You know, when you're in a position to be a contender, then people want to take your spot. You know, I understand it, but you know, I'm really done. I'm kind of in a position where it's just you know, they choose who I fight, and if you really believe that you're the best in the world, then you'll fight whoever they tell you. So. You know, for me to just keep training and get better. So it's good. It's cool to be in the position that I'm in now.
But you understand that a win over you really means a lot to people. So that's a good thing and a bad thing, I would think, for you mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, same thing with me wanting to fight Hendricks. You know what I mean? It's not personal. I want to be where the position that he was in. So yeah, you know, I get it. And I really don't want to be. You know, I'm not looking to fight everybody in the division. I'm looking to fight for the title and then move on. He's been one of the young studs coming up. He's like the new generation, you know what I mean? And you know, he's got a lot of confidence behind him. You know, training with GSP, and he's kind of been a guy I've always been like, you know, we'll meet eventually, and it excites me because, you know, I really stylistically, it's a great matchup. He's great everywhere. You know, has he really been tested, or he really hasn't fought an opponent like me, so that's what it's an exciting fight to watch. But and to be part of the Fox card too is another. It's a bonus for me.
So you think you've faced more difficult competition than he has today?
Yeah, you know, I would agree. You know, I've been in this position too. He's young, he's hungry. I mean, he fought Carlos Condit. You know, the only guy in the top 10 I believe that he lost to, which was Carlos Condit. So you know, he's kind of in a position too where he's getting to the point where, you know, you can't choose your fight. So I'm excited to match him though.
Throughout your career, you've been known as a silent killer. You know, you're not one to be exuberant on the mic, but you go into the cage and you starch people. That's kind of your MO. Is there any pressure to up the talk? You know, kind of Sonnen-esque, I guess, in that department.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, really. Winning fights is gonna speak louder. I think actions do speak louder than words. You know, you can get fights you really lobby for, but at the end of the day, it comes down to winning. So, you know, being in the top 10, even in the top 5, it's gonna get you start to get in a position where you really you can't choose who you fight, and you really just you know, you just really gotta show action and win fights. So that's just kind of where I'm at now. You know, I'm just training to get better, and looking forward to fighting Rory now.
Well, you seem pretty self-aware. You're talking about how you're stoked for this fight card. You get to be a fan.
Yeah.
You got to be pretty aware that people are kind of salivating for a Rory MacDonald, Jake Ellenberger match. Strip yourself away from it for a second. Take yourself out of it. How do you build that fight? How do you look at that fight? Those two are going to meet in the cage.
Yeah, I mean, again, as a fan, I would look at this fight and be like, damn, that's a fascinating fight. You know, I'm
absolutely, that's why I asked.
For sure, and you know, I talked to Joe Silva for why he was so excited to put this fight together, as well as the fans are too. So, you know, for me, I have always performed better. You know, not having like, I don't know, how do I put this? just kind of not having the pressure on me, which there's pressure every fight, so it's kind of not the best analogy to use, but
especially as you rise through the ranks.
Yeah, and they're claiming this kid to be the next GSP, the dominating the division. Well, I disagree. You know what I mean? I've been working my whole life to be in this position that I'm in now. So, I absolutely believe that I'll beat him, and I don't think I really don't think his chin's been tested. I've heard I've seen him be dropped by Che Mills. I've seen him be been dropped in fights, and he's been able to. He does a lot of things good, but he doesn't do anything spectacular. You know what I mean?
Has there been any clear indication that the winner of this fight will be next in line for the welterweight title?
I've been told that. This will be the number one contender. But again, it's not in writing, so you're never 100% sure.
Kind of just hearsay.
Exactly. So verbally, I've been told, the winner of this fight will be the number one contender. And we're still kind of, in the cloud to see what happens with Hendricks and GSP. So.
And knowing that, having been told that, is there? You talked about pressure before, and there's pressure in every fight. But is there any additional pressure, any additional motivation stemming from the fact that this could put you in the number one contender spot with the win?
No, not any more than usual. You would think so, but really not, because it doesn't matter if you're fighting in the first fight of the prelim or the main event. You still have to, you have to still deal with the same things. You're still walking out there and you're still fighting in front of the crowd. So it's more just how you deal with that mentally, And I've had about 40 fights, so you think it would get easier, and it doesn't.